what happened and all that and how we had her and everything. And look at her little beautiful self. So so I was 34 weeks pregnant because my due date's not until August 18th. She was born on July 7th at 11:03 p.m. 5 pounds 3 ounces.
17 and a half inches.
Yeah, so she's severely small. And basically what happened was on Tuesday, July 7th, we went somewhere with his mom. We were going somewhere, and we were going to this gas station, and we were driving in, and then these two cars stopped for us, and then I guess this other car didn't see us or whatever, so he slammed into us, and like, this is our car, and then this is his car. He hit like the front of the car and the front tire, and I was in the passenger seat, so he hit on the passenger side but in the front, like where the tire in the front of the car is, so the car went like that.
And
then
he was on the bike lane.
lane. And so he was like, I have the right of way. But like, how do you have the right of way when you're in the bike lane, like going 60 miles per hour? Anyways, so then afterwards, we got out of the car, and we were like, oh my god, what the hell?
And I kept asking her if she was okay, and
Yeah.
and she said she was fine.
Everybody kept asking me if I was okay, so I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm not bleeding or anything, and nothing was hurting heck bad. But then about like 20 minutes later or 15 minutes later, like my stomach started hurting really bad. Like, it hurt, like right away it hurt a little bit because like I like flew this way and then to the side, and then the seatbelt, because I was wearing a seatbelt, the seatbelt like pushed on my stomach really hard, so that hurt. And then so my stomach was hurting a little bit after, but then like 15 minutes later, like 20 minutes later, like it hurt really bad.
Yeah, we went home.
So I went to my house. We went home to my house.
We went home, and then it kept hurting.
Yeah, it was still hurting, and then my back started really hurting. And then
we called our doctor.
Yeah, my mom called the doctor, and he said to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital, and I was having contractions, like a lot. Like, we were there for like probably 2 hours, and I was having contractions, and then she checked me, and I was dilated to 3, and then she said that the doctor was watching me from home, like he was watching my contractions and everything, and then they weren't stopping or anything. They even like gave me an IV, and they gave me like bags of water to try to hydrate me, and then nothing was working. And then an hour later she checked me again, and I was a 4. And then we did an ultrasound, and the baby was breached, which means the baby was upside down. The baby's head was up here and her feet were down here, and because my contractions were causing me to dilate, and they weren't stopping no matter what we did, they said that we had to do an emergency C-section, because if because I was opening really fast, so they said if I kept opening, then like her butt or her feet would have tried to come in, and she probably would have come out, and she probably would have got stuck or something. So they told us we were doing an emergency C-section, and he wasn't there when they told. It was me and his mom.
Yeah.
It was me and his mom in the room, because him and his mom left. Where'd you guys go?
Me and your mom.
Me and my mom. Him and my mom left to, what'd you guys go do?
We came to the house to get some stuff.
Like the diaper bag and everything.
Yeah,
like,
we came
just
to
in
get
case.
like a hospital bag
And some clothes for me and stuff. And some clothes for him.
And then when we came back, they're like, she's gonna have a C-section.
Yeah, and they came back, because they told us like right then, and then they were already starting to like get me ready to go to the operating room and everything. And I was like, hold on, like my mom and my boyfriend weren't even there, so I was like, what? Like, I was freaking out. And then he came in, and then right away they made him put on the clothes and stuff like that. And then yeah. And then we left, and then they put me in the wheelchair to go to the operating room like right away. Like, it was like, I don't know, everything just happened like so fast. And so we went. They put me in the wheelchair, and then my mom started crying because they were gonna take me, and I could only have one person with me, so he was gonna go with me, and my mom started hella crying. It made me sad. And she was crying, and then I had to go in the operating room by myself at first. They wouldn't let him in until right when we were gonna do the surgery. So I had to go in the operating room, and I was alone and with a bunch of people I didn't even know in there, and there's a bunch of tools on the table and everything, and I was like, oh my god. So like I wasn't like freaking out really on the outside, and on the inside I was just like, it felt like it wasn't even real, like it wasn't even happening, because it was like, it was happening so fast, like it happened so fast. Everything was happening so fast, and I was just like, I don't know, but my body kept shaking, like I couldn't help it. I don't know why, because I didn't really feel like, I wasn't freaking out, I wasn't crying or anything. Like I kept my feelings, I don't know, I didn't really show anything, but I couldn't stop shaking. My body kept shaking the whole time, and plus it was really cold, so I just kept shaking. And then they put the needle inside of my back to numb me, and then they laid me down. They laid my arms out like this, and then they put the curtain right there, and then I was just waiting. And then he still wasn't in the room with me, so I was like freaking out. And then they were like, oh, he's about to come in right now, so don't worry. Because I was like, are they gonna start without him in here? And then
right when I walked in, they were already doing it.
They were getting they had the tools.
And then and I was hella scared, cause like I didn't want to like show that I was scared in front of her. Like I was trying to like keep calm for her, so she wouldn't freak out. Cause I was like hecka scared for her. Cause like I don't know, like it was just scary.
Duh, cause they're cutting me open. Yeah. Like that's just scary.
And then probably like 5.
Yeah, we waited there. We were just waiting there, like looking at each other, and I couldn't feel anything at all. All I felt was like them tug me, and sometimes like the whole table would move, like my whole body would move. But I couldn't.
Like 5 or 10 minutes after that, the baby came out, huh?
Yeah, like it was really fast. Like, probably like 15 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes, and then we heard her cry, and then I was like, what the heck? And then he started crying. And then yeah, I was like, oh my god. I was like, they did it. It's okay.
And then they
brought her over to the side really quickly.
Yeah,
right after
and then I was looking at her.
He was looking at me
crying.
Yeah,
so she was right here laying down, and I was looking at her, and then they
so I could see her, and then I was like,
turn around, and then I looked around, and they took her hella,
and then they took her right when he saw her.
And I was like, wow. And then like probably like 30 seconds after, they called me to go cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah, so he left me.
And I cut it, and then when I was looking at her, like her legs were like all the way up to her head right here, and I was like, is that normal?
She always put like,
I was scared, like.
Yeah, and even now she like sticks her legs up, her legs are straight up.
Yeah, her legs are always up.
I don't know why she always does that, but so then he went to go finish cutting the umbilical cord, because they cut it, but they left it like long so he could cut the rest of it off, and then he came back to me, right? He came back to me, and then he sat next to me, and while they were finishing, because they had to close me up afterwards, and you didn't look, right?
No,
because he had to walk past.
Yeah, when
my
I
body,
walked,
so.
when I walked, and I started looking at the baby, I was taking pictures for like so we can show our family that was there.
Yeah.
And then after I took the picture, we walked back to give Jaylene the baby, and then I looked like for a little bit, but it was like. I was like, oh my god, and I just turned away hella fast.
What did you see?
I don't know, like it was just like kind of open, and like I saw like red, and like I don't know.
Red?
I can't explain, because I kind of forgot what it looked like, because I looked like probably like for like a second.
And then they brought her over to me, and of course they were still doing surgery to me, so I was just and my head was just on like a little part, so there wasn't much room. So then they laid her like right next to me for a second, and the nurse was holding her too. And then I just looked at her, and I was just rubbing her, and I was like, oh my god. And then the nurse was like, okay, give her a kiss goodbye, and I was like, okay. And then but she had a bunch of bubbles in her mouth, so I kissed the bubbles. I didn't even really get to kiss her, because they had her in an awkward way, so I had to like stretch my head. But and then they took her. And I didn't know that it was like goodbye for like a day. I thought they were just like gonna take her, and then I was gonna get her back after the surgery, but I didn't get her back. They took her to the
NICU.
Yeah. Well, first, like after they finished me, it took like probably 30 minutes after that for them to finish me, and then and then probably 20.
No, like 10.
It wasn't like 10.
Yeah,
You're making
it
it
was
sound
like-
like the whole thing was 5 minutes.
It was.
longer
It
than
was
that.
hella fast.
It was fast, but it wasn't that fast.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. Okay,
All
I don't
the,
know.
all the.
He wasn't on the table,
Babe.
so I don't think.
All the other doctors were like, he did it fast. Like that was like.
Yeah, but it wasn't that fast.
But he said that he did it
Yeah,
fast.
and they said normally it takes like an hour. It didn't take an hour. Probably total took 40 minutes.
No, it took
Yes.
like 30 minutes.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
anyways,
did.
anyways. So then, when they finished, he rolled me. They rolled me to the recovery room, and then she was in there, and he was in there, and then they were in there, and then they took her away. I could just see her. They didn't like. She was kind of far away, so she was just in like this thing. Was she in the warmer?
She was in like a the bassinet things that she was in.
Yeah, but it had like a warm thing. It had a warmer over it.
Yeah, no, they like connected to like this machine thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what it is.
I know, but I mean, like it wasn't
Okay,
with
anyways,
it. It wasn't
okay.
connected with
Okay,
it.
I know, like, but it's over it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
over,
that's
it,
what-
and then they switched it.
Okay, just stop arguing with me. And then
and then they took her away to the NICU.
NICU, and he went. So I was alone in the recovery room for 2 hours. I was in the recovery room with this one nurse, and
And then I was watching.
just literally
I was
just
with the
laying there.
baby for 2 hours, taking care of her,
then
looking
What
after
hurt-
her.
what hurt so bad was like I have staples across my stomach, right? And they would massage my stomach hella hard, and I was like, oh my god, it was terrible. But then after that, they rolled me out to the postpartum room that I was gonna be in, and as they were rolling me out, there was this green button that we were about to pass, and she was like, press that button, and I was like, okay. And then I pressed it, and then in the hospital at St. Joseph's, a song plays every time a baby's born. And so I guess because I had a C-section, they didn't press it right away, so I got to press it. And I pressed it. It was
Like
2
2
hours
hours
after.
later.
It was 2 hours after I had her, so it was like the next day. But I pressed it, and then the music played. And then I was like, oh, cool, I did it. And then I went to the room, and I was alone. I was alone for the longest time because he wanted to be with the baby, so he went up to because the NICU is on another floor, and that's where they take babies if they're like premature or if they're having problems right after, or if they have a cesarean. Yeah, or if they have a cesarean, then they take the baby up there for observation. So they took her up there, and they had her there for a while. And then and he went with her, so I was alone for a while, and I was really sad. I was trying not to cry because I was just alone. And then
So after, when she was in the NICU, they were telling me that they had to observe her for like 4 hours, and then I was like,
she was not there for 4 hours. Let me just tell you, she was there till
Yeah.
4 o'clock the next day. So I did not get to see my baby till 4 o'clock the next day.
yeah,
And I was so depressed the whole day. I was just like, and I was in so much pain. So I was just like, I didn't even know what to do. And he was with her pretty much the whole
so
time.
they said that she was gonna be in there for 4 hours, and I was like, and I just wanted her I just wanted all three of us to be together already, and then probably like after like 2 hours, she was like doing fine, like she was doing good, and then like I just kept like waiting, like I kept trying to ask them if she's okay to go back to the room, but they were just saying that they had to do like more tests or some stuff like that, and then they kept her for 4 hours, and then they said that they had to do some other tests, and then they kept her for another 4 hours, so it was like 8, and then or like 9, and then they said they were going to bring her down because she was doing good, but then her temperature dropped, and she threw up, and then
Because what I don't like is, okay, like I get it, like I guess she needs to eat like right after I have her and everything, but like they could have told me to pump, they could have told me to try to pump. They didn't tell me anything. They were giving her formula, so she was up there throwing up and everything, and then even when she came back, she was freaking spitting up and like choking on her spit up and everything, and I was like, oh my god, this is why I don't like formula.
so she
yeah,
was
doing
she was up there, and then
But I get that they had to give
Yeah.
it to her.
and then like time passed, and then it was already like 4, and then they're like, and then our doctor came,
And he was like, and I was like, they won't let me see her. I haven't seen her.
and
Oh,
he's
then he was like, that's ridiculous. They can wheel you up there to go see her. So he was
she
like,
had already went in her room probably like 2 hours after she she had the surgery because she was in the the operation room, in like a recovery room, and then she was supposed to go back at like 1:30, and then the baby was supposed to go back like at 3 or 4, and she went back at 1:30 and she got a room, and then
I was waiting forever and forever, and the baby never came.
Yeah.
And they were and they wouldn't let me go up there to see her. The nurse was like, "No, you can't go up there to see her because you can't walk." And I was like, "I know I can't walk, but like, I can't go in a wheelchair." And she was like, "No, you have to be able to walk before you can go to see her." And I was like, and I told my doctor that they said that, and he was like, "That's ridiculous. Like, you can go in a wheelchair to go see her."
Yeah, and they said that I could have taken her.
So that he got me a wheelchair, and then right when he got me a wheelchair to go upstairs, they called and they said that they were bringing her down. So then they brought her down, and I got to see her and be with her. But then there was other people in the room, and they all wanted to see her. And I was like, I'm the mom, and I haven't seen her yet, so can I see her first? And
So then after that, just people visiting, staying in the room.
A lot of pain.
A lot of pain.
It's still a lot of pain, but I got medicine now, so it's not that bad.
So then it's just staying in the room, taking care of the baby, people visiting, tests, and more tests.
I know. Okay, cause she's jaundiced a little bit. Her face is like yellow and stuff like that a little bit. So there's something like wrong with her liver. I think that's what it is. And
they said that she has to keep feeding her.
So they said that so then they kept coming back to do more blood tests on her, and every time they took her blood, I was just so sad. So I'd make them give her to me, and then I would just lay with her in the bed, and I would be so sad. Cause like they took blood from her, and then she would cry, and then I would feel so bad. But I don't really think she even cared that they were taking her blood. She just hates when you take the blanket off of her, and she's cold. She hates being cold. So they took the blanket off of her to take her blood from her foot, and she hates that. So she would cry because of that. She didn't really even care that they took her blood, but I did. And then
So then after.
And she was doing really good because they said that when you have a baby, if you have a baby at 34 weeks, then they can't go home for 3 weeks, so they're supposed to be like 37 weeks. And she got to go home with me, so I was very grateful for that.
She's only like 34 weeks, and she came home with us.
Yeah,
4 days
later.
Yeah, 4 days after yesterday. She came back yesterday.
So we were at the hospital for 4 days, and we had a lot of visitors and everything. And oh my god, the first 2 days were terrible. I couldn't walk. I couldn't, even to go to the bathroom, it was literally the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life.
And then we were taking her a shower.
Oh yeah, me?
Yeah, we had to take her a shower.
Because I couldn't shower myself, so the nurse was gonna help me, but then I just said I wanted my mom and Joseph to help me, so my mom and Joseph showered me, and then, but the nurse said that in the shower I have to take off my bandages. I have to wet it first, and then I have to take off the bandages because the bandages were covering it, so I couldn't see it. And then
So then, we kept wetting it, and then we were washing her, and then it came time to take off the bandage, and then she started crying.
I started hella crying. And that was the first time since the cesarean that I actually cried, because I was trying to be really strong and not cry about anything. But then in the shower, I started hella crying. I was making a weird noise too when I was crying, because it hurt to cry because my stomach, so I was making a weird noise. And then I was hella crying, and I was like, I don't want to see it. I do not want to see it. But I had to peel the bandages off, and I was like, I don't want to see it. I just started crying so much. And then the nurse came in because she heard me crying, and then I took off the bandages, and then they were all saying it looked really good, and I was like, in my head I was thinking how can something, they cut me open, how can that look good? And then, but they said it looked really good, it wasn't bleeding, and it wasn't red around it or anything,
so then, yeah, and now we're doing good. Baby girl's healthy, she's good.
We're both going to the doctors tomorrow because they have to take my staples out tomorrow, and she needs to have a checkup because of her little jaundice. The doctor wants to make sure that she's okay. So I'm nervous for tomorrow. But yeah. And it still really hurts to walk. And if I don't take the medicine, I'm gonna be in dire pain. But because I take it, I'm alright. It makes me a little bit loopy though.
And
I don't want to say hi. It makes me like poop.
we just want to say thank you to my mom and her mom because they've been helping us a lot. And
like while we were at the hospital through the night, like I didn't sleep at all. At night, I didn't sleep at all because I didn't sleep at all. And then
so then last night.
But last night I got to sleep because they took her during the night. They just brought her to me so I could feed her because I'm breastfeeding. But then and then the rest of the night I pretty much slept. So I had about probably like 6-7 hours of sleep, and that was the most that I've had since I had the baby. So it was really nice.
And so yeah, we just want to say thank you to you guys. We love you guys, and you guys are the best.
And thank you to everybody that visited us at the hospital too.
Thank you guys.
It was nice having company, even though I was in a lot of pain.
At this point,
okay. I think that's everything that we wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's doing really good. Look at how adorable she is.
She's so cute.
She's so cute. I love her. Look at the little bow in her hair. Ooh, sorry.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot. What the hell?
I'm sorry.
The hell?
Dang. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. So yeah, she's really small. I think when we left the hospital, they said she's like 4 pounds 8 ounces.
Yeah, they said that she lost a couple weight.
Yeah, she lost a little bit.
Not that much.
But they said she was fine. I was really surprised she actually got to come home with us because I thought she was gonna be there for weeks and weeks, and I was gonna have to go there every day to breastfeed her, and I was gonna have to pump and give them the milk. Yeah.
But she's great. She's awesome.
She's really good. She's not having any problems at all. She's pooping and peeing and crying like a normal baby.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
What?
She is a great baby. She does not even cry that much.
I know, she really cries.
She doesn't cry when I change her anymore. She's not really that fussy. She sleeps like all the time. Like she's like asleep.
Because I breastfeed her, and when I breastfeed her, she falls asleep.
Yeah,
so.
she gets milk drunk and then she just falls asleep. And she gets cross-eyed sometimes. Like
I know.
It's cute, but scary.
She's so small. Like, she does not fit any of the clothes that we have for her. Even there's some newborn clothes that I got that were like hand-me-downs, like from other people, and I washed them and they shrunk, and those don't even fit her.
Yeah, they don't even fit her.
So like the clothes that she's wearing right now, like it's really
like this
it's really big.
too big.
But it's still cute. But it's
and then we had some socks for her, but they were too big.
They were too big. They fell off, so we yeah. But and the newborn diapers are big on her too.
Yeah.
So. Hopefully she grows. I'm feeding her a lot every like 2 to 3 hours. She eats. She eats for like 20 minutes on each boobie.
So, we just want to say that we'll be trying to vlog
and post videos.
of
We haven't
the
posted a
baby.
video in a long time, so I feel very guilty. But like this whole thing just happened in one day, and it was really
out of nowhere,
and it was really
unexpected.
Like that was the first car accident that we ever been in. That like either of us. So and it caused us to have our baby. So
yeah.